We're in Texas with Chevrolet driving the 2025 Suburban.
Hello, big boy. Hear that? I think that's a distinct sound, Andrea.
The beauty of a diesel.
Oh, we own a diesel. We love diesel. We're in the big dog. This Suburban, I guess we've already told you. What's under the hood of this thing?
This is the next generation diesel powertrain. It is a 3-liter inline-6 turbo diesel with 10% more horsepower and 7.6% more torque than the previous diesel engine, 305 horsepower and 495 pound-feet of torque. It's offered on all trims, including the Z71 for the first time.
And there are two V8 models available. The base engine is a 5.3-liter V8, 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque. Also, a 6.2-liter V8 with 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, which is standard on the top High Country model.
And if you want even more power coming from that 6.2-liter V8, get the RST model with the performance package. It'll get you 433 horsepower and 467 pound-feet of torque. All these powertrains are matched to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive are available. More 2-wheel drive options in the US than in Canada.
Because they have sunny places like Texas,
Yep.
where it's very hot today. So this is a refreshed Suburban with more stuff. What are the key standard features?
The base model comes with a 17.7-inch touchscreen with Google built in, wireless, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto, an 11-inch digital driver display, 6-speaker audio system, power front bucket seats, cloth upholstery, tri-zone automatic climate control, a manual liftgate, adaptive cruise control, and HD surround vision, and Chevrolet Safety Assist.
Are we going to put it in S for Suburban, or what else can we put it in, Andrea?
Well, ask for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, a couple car review twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's up behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. So we already mentioned it. We're in the diesel, which is about 35% of sales in Canada, by the way.
Yeah.
Take diesel when you combine Tahoe and Suburban together. That's a very high number, maybe less in the US because fuel prices, I don't know if you know this, are way higher in Canada.
And I think because there is no hybrid option yet from Chevrolet, we are told that one will be coming at some point. The diesel is such a great option because the range is really good and fuel economy. We own a diesel vehicle, and you'll find that they are very fuel efficient.
So we mentioned a moment ago, this is a mid-cycle refresh for Suburban. What's new?
Yeah, get some great tweaks, updates to the exterior and interior. With the exterior, there's new grills and fascias, new wheel designs across all trims, new exterior lighting. And with the interior, well, you've got this standard 17.7-inch touchscreen and 11-inch digital driver display. There's new trailering technology and a larger wheel, 24 inches, available for the first time.
24 inches, yeah. We've been driving on different models of Tahoe and Suburban on this trip. And it's interesting, if you get the 24-inch wheel, you have to get air suspension, and then you can add magnetic ride control as well. And that really mitigates the massive size of the wheel. It is a big vehicle, and it doesn't look that big when it's on such a big rig, but that's one of the reasons that they've gone that route. The one thing is, we're in the High Country, and if you get the High Country, you get unique square exhaust tips.
Yeah.
So you know that, even if it's diesel or gas.
And while I like the look of the 24-inch wheels, I wouldn't go for them.
No.
The 22-inch wheels just feel better on road, especially on the highway. Just does a better job eating up those imperfections in the road.
If you go with the entry-level trims, you get a passive steel spring and shock absorber setup. Up from that, you can go to a steel spring with magnetic ride control, and I love magnetic ride control. It's amazing technology. And then the top one is magnetic ride control and the air suspension, which is what you get on a high country, for example.
Magnetic ride control continually monitors the road 1,000 times a second and adjusts the suspension up to 100 times a second. Something that is also new in both the Tahoe and Suburban is connected cameras. They allow customers through the My Chevy app to view the exterior and interior of their vehicle and record certain types of events like a crash. Now, a subscription may be required to access some connected camera capabilities.
So this is a massive vehicle, right? It's about as big as you can get, but it's very square. And they did a nice thing. They dropped the instrument panel down a little bit so you can see the edges of the vehicle really quite easily. And it's surprising, even in Suburban, how nimble and easy to drive it is.
Yeah, and the Tahoe is a little bit smaller, but you get the same features in both. The Suburban is 15 inches longer than the Tahoe, so if you want more space, you're definitely going to get it in this. It really does feel nimble, even though it is a little bit longer. I like the commanding seating position in here. Like Zach said, the visibility is great. I do find this diesel powertrain, even though I would get it for fuel economy, it is definitely louder in the cabin than if you go for the V8.
Yeah, but you know what? Because we own a diesel, we get in this, and it's a familiar sound, right? It's the sound of a diesel, and if you own one or if you've ever driven in one, it's not that it's a bad sound, it's just a familiar sound.
Yeah. Now at this drive event in Texas, we were able to drive all the different powertrains. This 6.2 liter V8 is really a favorite. That's your powerhouse, but you'll find that the others are very good power-wise when it comes to quick acceleration and passing power on the highway.
The 6.2 is the powerhouse. It has cylinder management. It can go down to a large 4-cylinder. That one, though, is supposed to run on premium gas. You can run regularly if you want to, but just keep that in mind. So if you're going to the top engine, you're going to pay for more fuel.
What impresses me so much about these full-size SUVs that Chevrolet offers is the turning radius and the maneuverability. You will be able to turn this on a dime. It really is impressive for such a large vehicle.
Well, General Motors has absolute domination in full-size body-on-frame trucks. They're everywhere, and here in Texas, you see them all over the place. And I think a big part of it, Andrea, is the way they look. They've got a sophisticated look, but also rugged at the same time, and they have different characters.
Yeah, and I think that's the key with all the different trims. There's a trim for many different budgets. The LT model offers the most value. The RST ups the sportiness. The Premier gives you a premium feel, and then there's the high country, the big dog that we're driving.
Okay,
that really has that sophisticated feel to it.
Riddle me this, Andrea.
Yeah.
We've seen them all for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Which one would you pick? Because I have the one I would pick, and it wouldn't be the high country, it'd be one down, the Premier.
That's what I would pick as well, and I would get the diesel just for fuel efficiency. I really like the Premier. It gives you that upscale feel. There's this gray interior. It just looks gorgeous. I even like the exterior trim with the chrome.
Like, I appreciate the sporty one, the off-roady one, but this is a people mover. I want a little more luxury.
And in the end, it's all going to come down to budget. There's nothing wrong with the LT model. These are 7 to 9 passenger vehicles, depending on the configuration that you go for. You can get a bench seat or captain's chairs, but on that base model for both the Tahoe and Suburban, you can get a bench seat in the front.
So ground clearance is 8 inches, okay? If you get the air suspension, you can drop it down 2 inches, which gets you to 6 inches for easy loading. And then the opposite, it can go plus 2 inches for off-roading, so that gets you up to 10 inches.
The Suburban comes standard with LED headlamps, LED tail lamps, 18 to 24-inch wheels, and a full-size spare tire.
We did our key standard features, and you saw the massive screen. That is a major development for this mid-cycle refresh. They did lower the instrument panel, and you get great outward visibility. But I think that depending on how much money you want to spend, you can get different interiors, but all of them are comfortable.
All of them are really comfortable, and some new updates to the interior. Of course, we already talked about the screen, but Chevrolet really focused on making this interior intuitive to use, but keeping it clean and sleek looking, and having a combination of knobs and buttons and digital controls. And I think they've found a pretty good balance in here. Yes, there are key things like heated and ventilated front seats and climate control that you control in the screen, but there is a tab that sits on the bottom.
Yeah, but there's also the big knobs and switches below that. And then to the left of the steering wheel, you have sort of a command center there. That's where you're going to get your trailer braking. You get the ride height for the air suspension, and some other features are all there on the left-hand side. So I agree with Andrea. The one thing about big screens, Andrea, is it just takes all the stuff you use already, just makes it bigger.
True.
But people like big. We're in Texas, Andrea. It's got to be bigger.
I think it's just that updated technology that people are looking for. You know, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a sleeker look. They just want the extras and more for their money. This center console is...
What's got a trick? You ready?
Yes.
Ta-da!
So I can put my purse in here, or any large item for that matter, snacks for the kids. There's plenty of storage up here. You've got good sized cup holders. The wireless charger has moved. It's now at the front of the cup holders. There's a new steering wheel in here, and the door pockets are quite wide for whatever you want to put in them. I think that this interior, of course, is high country with this black and mocha, is so elegant. And for the first time, high country is offering authentic wood trim. I'd also like to add that the standard base model comes with a load of driver assist technology. I mean, they have added so much stuff like blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, forward collision warning, 360 camera, just to name a few. Safety is definitely a priority for Chevrolet.
But these are not inexpensive. Even the base model is not inexpensive.
No.
These are expensive units. So yeah, I applaud them for doing that, but it's baked into the price. I mean, yeah, we were given the US numbers for these, and they're quite a bit cheaper when you compare them to what you have to spend in Canada to get a big rig like this. So yeah, absolutely it's included, but it's not cheap.
And like I said, more and more consumers are wanting more. They want more standard features. We recently did a walk around of the Ford Expedition, and it was the same thing when we spoke to the chief engineer.
You just said the F word, Andrea.
Stuff.
You said the F word. You can't say that. We're here with Chevrolet and you said the F word?
Yeah, well, it's a competitor, right? We got to talk about this stuff. The LT model offers the best value with additional comfort and convenience features like leatherette upholstery, heated front seats, driver's seat memory, a wireless charger, and a power liftgate.
Now on the higher trims, you can get available features like a 15-inch head-up display, 10-speaker Bose sound system, ventilated front seats, 12-way power front seats, a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, rear seat entertainment, a panoramic sunroof, plus an AutoSense power liftgate. It doesn't matter whether you get the Tahoe or the Suburban, the seats are all in the same position. So when you get into the second row, there is great leg room, there's good headroom, the seats slide fore and aft, and of course they recline. How does it stack up?
Comparing the Suburban to the Ford Expedition Max, the Suburban has 44.5 inches of front row legroom and 42 inches of second row legroom, offering half an inch more space in both rows than the Ford.
Then you flip and fold the second row seats to get into the third row, and it's so big you kind of just walk right in there. When you sit down, you get a lot of legroom, good headroom, your knees are at a good angle. How does this stack up?
Third row legroom in the Suburban is 37 inches, which is an inch more than the Expedition Max.
Now the big difference between Tahoe and Suburban is all behind the third row seat. The Suburban is 15 inches longer, you get way more cargo space. How does that stack up?
The Suburban offers 41.5 cubic feet of space behind the third row, 94 cubic feet behind the second row, and overall cargo capacity is coming in at 144.6 cubic feet, which is larger than the Ford.
All right, so we're going to get into the vital stats of Suburban. Pay attention to the fuel economy of the diesel.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. This is MSRP. The base model starts at just under $78,500, and the top trim, the High Country, is just under $106,500. In the US, the base model starts at $64,500, and the top trim is just over $84,000.
Here's the fuel economy for the base 5.3-liter base engine, 17.1 liters per 100 kilometers city, 12.6 on the highway. That's 14 miles per gallon city, 19 miles per gallon highway. We don't have the official fuel economy numbers for the diesel just yet. The engineers say they'll be very similar to the 2024 model, and here they are. 11.7 liters per 100 kilometers city, 9 on the highway. That's 20 miles per gallon city, 26 miles per gallon highway. The Suburban can tow 8,200 pounds, and the warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. So you want big, you want Texas big, body on frame, large SUV, what else can you pick?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the new Ford Expedition Max with a 3.5-liter turbocharged V6, 400 horsepower. Pricing for this new model has not been announced yet, but the 2024 model starts at $98,000.
The Cadillac Escalade ESV with a 6.2-liter V8, 420 horsepower, and a starting price of $120,000.
The Grand Wagoneer with a 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6, 510 horsepower, and a starting price of $132,000.
The GMC version is the Yukon XL with a 5.3-liter V8, 355 horsepower, and a starting price of $84,000.
So there are 4 full-size SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we'd like to see improved.
I just really love how nimble this Suburban is.
I like the updates.
Like all vehicles today, boy, the price really climbs on these full-size SUVs.
I have no need for one of these, Andrea, but I want one. That's a negative. Where am I going to park it? All right, so there it is. It's the all-new Suburban. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.